So today we are going to be doing our annual tier ranking of everything that I played in the previous year. Sneak peek. This was 2022. This was 2023. Obviously last year was 2024, so we're going to be ranking everything that I played in 2024, and this should be everything that I played. In previous years, there are things that have missed the list because I haven't really had a good way of tracking what I'm playing, and Steam's really good at giving you detail of exactly what you've played and how many hours you've played, like when. Other methods of playing, it can be a bit more difficult to keep track sometimes. But I think this is everything I played. Some of the games that I've played this year, I did play both of the previous years. So probably expected that there are things that are going to stay in the same place, although there are some exceptions. Already when I was putting the games in here and having a look, I know that there were some things that I was thinking, oh, I'd probably move that this year. The tiers are mostly the same as they've been previous years, other than the very bottom. So love, basically my favorite games. Def recommend are games that I really enjoyed, really like, but they might not be personal favorites. But I do think like people should play them. Good, okay, fine, fairly self-explanatory. Things that are good or fine. That middle ground, or things that I did like but I just didn't love. Could be get better. It's basically games I didn't think were great. And then not my vibe I've put in instead of trash, because I didn't play League of Legends at all this year. So I didn't feel like I needed a trash category. So basically not my vibe is just going to be games that were not my vibe. Things that maybe I tried out once and thought, well, I'd probably never play this again because it just wasn't really my thing. And this year I have included like demos and things as well. So there are some things I've only tried once, and depending on whether I liked them or not, some things might end up in that category. So it doesn't mean they're like bad games, they just aren't games that were necessarily personally appealing to me. So those are the categories that we have this year. So yeah, so some of these things that are particularly at the start are games that I've played in previous years. So nothing too exciting. Most of them are going to be in the same place as they have been in previous years. Like we've got Crash Team Racing, which if anyone doesn't know is one of my favorite games. So obviously it's going at the top. In my opinion, Crash Team Racing is the superior kart game. I play this particularly every May. This is the game I always play on my birthday because some people in my life, Nathan, do not love Crash Team Racing as much as me. But on my birthday, I get to do what I want, and so we always play Crash Team Racing. And last year, I think my sibling was over last year as well, so my sibling played as well. We all played Crash Team Racing, and it was a great time. I have not played Garfield Kart. I did not know that was a thing. I also have never heard of Kirby Air Ride. Borderlands 2 is also one of my favorite games. Again, is a game I played basically because of my sibling. I think the only time I played this last year was when my sibling was over, because we technically have a playthrough that we've had going for many years. We have a playthrough of Borderlands 2 that we have been playing since like I started streaming. Now I've only been properly streaming for a short number of years, but technically my first streams on Twitch were quite a number of years ago. And one of the things I would stream would be like once a fortnight, sometimes Borderlands 2 when my siblings stayed over. So it's a playthrough we've had going for a very long time, but we did briefly open it up when they were over once last year. Dead by Daylight is the one game on here that I think my placement would be different now. The past 2 years, I've put Dead by Daylight in good, okay, fine. Right now, I think I would put it back up here, which is so freaking weird. Because, I don't know. I started playing Dead by Daylight, like 4 or 5 years ago now? And the year I played it, I loved Dead by Daylight. It was my life. We played it every single weekend. And then I kind of went off it for a couple of years and didn't play it that much, and it annoyed me. And I don't know that the things that annoyed me changed necessarily. I think it's just that one, I played it a bit more last year and so got to have fun like returning to it in that way. But two, like looking back on it I think now I've gotten past the point of annoyance where I was just like annoyed with a lot of things, where now I don't care as much. And so now when I look at it, I look back on all the good things about why that game is so important to me. Because, like, for those who don't know, some of my very closest friends, some of the people I'm closest to, like, I'm only so close to them because of Dead by Daylight. Because we would get on every single weekend for like a year straight. I think after that it kind of petered off a bit, but basically for a year straight, we were on every single weekend playing together. Like, we were all in different time zones, but we would all hop on. It was like Saturday night for them, Sunday morning for me. Every weekend we'd get on there, we'd play D&D for a few hours, we'd chat and hang out, and like, these weren't people I was close to before, like, but they were people I knew of, because like, technically, originally, people I know from the booktube space, YouTube bookish stuff, which is an entirely different world. But it was just that thing of like, someone I knew of who existed online and who had like a YouTube channel was like, hey, I'm looking for people who'll play this game with me because I want to start this game. Does anyone else want to start this game with me? And then and she was friends with someone else I was like distantly friends with, who's now one of my closest friends. So I was like, because I kind of know someone who's involved, I'm comfortable jumping in. This is a really long-winded explanation of basically just I have a lot of love for Dead by Daylight for the place it has in that way. I need to stop the ramble because anyway, but yeah, that's why I think it goes back up there, because I've gotten past those years of just being annoyed at all the changes. I've been playing it a little bit more now, where I'm able to just reflect back on all the reasons that I do love this game, and particularly love it for the things it did for me even outside of directly the game, if that makes sense. The next game here is Baldur's Gate 3, which the point I was getting at before is the comment of like, games aren't made now the way they used to be. This is a recent game that I think now is my favorite game of all time. Of all time. That's a big call. There's a lot of games I love, and that's a big call. But like, I love this game so much. There are some little bugs, and I do have some graphical issues occasionally, but otherwise, I love this game so much. I love the characters, there's so much interesting story, so many interesting things to do. And also, as someone who often doesn't love combat in games, the combat of this is so much fun. And like, as someone who usually hates having to redo things, like, I don't want to play something like Dark Souls because I don't want to have to redo the same thing over and over and over again. Not a problem in Baldur's Gate 3. I will spend hours doing the same battle over and over and over again with different strategies just so I can get the outcome I want and not be bothered by it, because I find it so interesting to be doing the same battle but with different strategies. I love this game so much. Obviously. But yeah, I think it is my favorite game of all time. And I finally finished my main playthrough of it at the start of 2024. Was when I finished my like main playthrough and then ended up starting another playthrough. I don't even remember. I don't even remember which one I've put it in previous years. And I have mixed feelings, because Sims 4 has so many problems and is in many ways isn't as good as previous games, but I still play it, and it does suck me in. Like, last year they had the Halloween event, and I actually had a lot of fun playing that. So like, it could be better, but also I've had fun with some of that gimmicky stuff it's been doing, so maybe I'm gonna put it as like, it's fine, I guess. There's just some things that it's like, this game's been out for so many years, why does it still not have some of the things that previous games had? Coral Island is a game I need to play more of. I always enjoy it when I play it, but then it's also not a game that I'm ever like particularly feeling a draw to play. But then these kind of like cozy farming type games aren't something that I necessarily regularly play. I think in previous years I have put it as love, but I didn't play very much of it last year. I really like it, it's just not a game that I'm regularly picking up. I need to play more of it. Resident Evil Village, I think I only played last year because we started the DLC and didn't get very far. I went to play the DLC on stream last year, and then I had internet issues and my stream crashed 3 times and I gave up. So we never finished the DLC. So we do need to finish the DLC of Village at some point. But this is a game I did really like overall, but also suffered. I suffered. Escape Simulator I really like. This is a really basic game that it's just little cutesy escape rooms. I like escape rooms. And you can play with people. I have a couple of people I've played different rooms with. Yeah, they're just little cute escape rooms. It's fun. Especially you get a friend going, you're all trying to figure things out together. It's a good time. Turnip Boy, yeah, I only played this once. So this is the second one, the Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, which I played on stream once. And it was really cute. But I didn't get into it the way I got into the first one, and I never ended up playing it again because it's a very different type of game than the first one, because this one is that kind of repetitive thing where you're constantly doing the same thing and trying to get further every time. Like, that's just the way the game's set up. And I had fun playing it, but I also didn't necessarily have a desire to ever play it again. But I did like what I played, but I think I'm just gonna put it as like good because of that. There's also like gay characters. There's little gay fruits. So that's also a win. I don't think I liked this game as much as the first one, and the style. So I could also probably put this in not my vibe, that this style of game wasn't as good for me, but you're describing roguelike. Yeah, well, this is probably only one of the only roguelikes I've played in that type of the game. It's like, that's one of the things, like Hades, beautiful looking game. I love the character design. I've even drawn fan art of one of the characters because I think she's beautiful. I don't think that I could play it though. I feel like I already said Crash Team Racing is the superior racer, the superior kart game. There is Mario Kart here, which I complain about every year, and yet it ends up here every year. But that's because I have friends that play it. I have at least one friend in particular who regularly plays it on his streams. So sometimes when he's streaming it, I'll join in, and actually he's the only reason I own this game, because Universe Apart streams, I believe is his stream, but I technically bought this game a few years ago only because he was doing like a creator stream night, and this is one of the games he wanted to play. So technically he's the only reason I even own it, and he's pretty much the only person at this point I play it with whenever he's playing it on stream. Occasionally I'll join in if I'm feeling up to it. But I don't love Mario Kart otherwise.
Sweetie, please, 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 I'll feed him and walk him, I promise.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, Mario Kart. I don't like Mario Kart. So I think I usually put this in could be better, but I don't know if it's just that I just don't get along with Mario Kart. Like, I don't know what it is. Obviously, I don't dislike kart games in general. I love Crash Team Racing. Just something about Mario Kart has never vibed with me, and like, I physically can't get around it. Like, it feels wrong. Every Mario Kart I've ever played, and I've tried a few over the years, they just feel wrong, and I can't get around them. So like, I feel like not my vibe is probably the appropriate place to put it, but I also feel more negatively than that. But I don't know, I'm just gonna put it in here. But I will play it. If I have friends playing it, sometimes I just want to be included. That doesn't go for everything though. I have friends who need to stop trying to invite me to play League of Legends. Because I'll get on there, I will open up the app so that I can play Teamfight Tactics, and some people will keep trying to invite me to ARAM. I do not want to join the ARAM game. Lost Ark, I think I opened up once last year. It's on here because it was on my Steam played. I think I opened it once, like looked at an island and picked up some things and then closed it and never played it again. So I think I'm gonna put it as good, okay, fine. Even though like the year it came out, the month it came out, I played it obsessively. But ever since I got to that like leveled up state, it had a different vibe. And then I wasn't feeling it as much. Oh, I just mentioned Teamfight Tactics. I love Teamfight Tactics. Don't try to make me play like the standard League of Legends game, but Teamfight Tactics, I'm a fan. I don't actually play it that often just because I'm so busy and I always have other things I need to be doing. But whenever I do open it up, I enjoy it. So, also while I'm doing this, if there's anything in particular that other people played last year that they particularly loved, I would love to hear it, especially if it's something that I haven't played. or if you completely disagree with my opinions, you can share those too. Fortnite! I did already mention earlier that Fortnite has kind of become the go-to multiplayer game. I still don't know whether I'd quite say it's like, I love this, it's one of my favorite games, even though I put Dead by Daylight up there this year. But I think Fortnite is just like a stage for nonsense more than anything. Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, we are starting to get into some new games because Elder Scrolls Online is something that I started playing last year. Again, it's something I need to play more of because I started playing it and then I got busy and started doing moving house things, and so I didn't get to play more of it. But I've really enjoyed what I've played so far, even though technically this isn't the first time I've played it. Technically, I played Elder Scrolls Online when it first came out, but I had it on like my Xbox One, and it was slightly different when it first came out. I don't actually know how far it's come because I don't explicitly remember what it was like then, but I just know I didn't really get into it then. But I've been really enjoying what I'm playing of it now that I have it on PC many years later. But yeah, I've been really playing this. It isn't like a favorite game at this stage, but mostly just I haven't played enough of it. But I've been vibing with what I've been playing. And the thing that almost immediately shoots it up, the love. Yeah, this was my second most played game. Although that's also because the way this works on Steam is you have to have the launcher open to update it. So I think that also inflates the hours. The thing that instantly made this an even better experience though is that I have a little pig companion. You can get the pets that follow you around because it is an MMO, and I have a pig. And pigs are like my favorite animal, and it's so cute, and it just follows me around and runs with me everywhere I go, so that almost makes me put it at the top just because there's a cute pig. Crash Bash is definitely not a new to me game, but Nathan recently got one of those little things that looks like a Game Boy, but it's like a little device that's preloaded with many games, many old games. So there was one night I was on the couch playing Crash Bash, which is like one of my favorite games from my childhood, along with like Crash Team Racing, even though this isn't like OG Crash Team Racing, this is the newer version that I have on Xbox. But Crash Bash is another one of those games that I played so much of on PlayStation 1. So there was this, I was playing it on this little Game Boy-esque thing, sitting on the couch, playing Crash Bash, and it was just a nostalgic good time. The thing is though, is part of what also made Crash Bash fun is the multiplayer experience, which you don't really get in that format. So if I had it in a format where I could like couch play with a bunch of people, it would probably be at the top. But considering the format I was playing in was just this little single handheld thing, which was fun and nostalgic. But that's the only reason I wouldn't put it straight at the top. Did anyone else play Crash Bash? Because it's just one of those things that it's like, I don't know how many people played it, but it's just like ingrained in my brain. A Little to the Left is one of those games, again, that I need to play more of. I think I considered playing this on stream for some just like chill times, and maybe that's why I didn't continue playing it, but then I got busy and wasn't streaming anyway. Remembering correctly, this is one of those little games where you're just like organizing things. It's like little puzzles of trying to organize things the right way. So really cute and satisfying little game. So I would definitely recommend it. I just need to play more of it. This isn't even really a proper game. The Placid Plastic Duck Simulator, is that what it's called? Something like that. You literally just open it up and watch plastic ducks. You can't do anything. You're just watching ducks spawn and float around and do random things. And that's it. It's just this idle duck pool. But it's like, you can name the ducks. It's just so like weirdly fascinating. It's like nothing's really happening, but I also just can't tear my eyes away. And I have also had this just on the background on stream before, because you can name the ducks, so you can name them after your chat and stuff. And I've had it on in the background while I've crocheted and stuff. Like, it's so silly and so like nothing, but also like the amount of hours collectively I think I've spent staring at this, because even though I personally haven't opened it up many times, I have friends who will have it on their streams, and so the amount of time I've spent just like staring at ducks doing nothing, like I don't fully comprehend it, but it is what it is. Here we're getting into some of the demos I played. So this is one of those ones I had to remember, because this is actually a demo I played at PAX. I think this is the only video game demo I played rather than just watching. But these devs actually reached out to me before PAX. I was a creator at PAX last year, and so I went and tried out their game, and they were lovely. They were really lovely people. And I actually really liked this demo as well. It's like, so Fishbowl, and you're following like this girl who is kind of going about her day and stuff, but there's also some sad stuff happening with like family grief type things. So it's really cute, and it's got this really cutesy art style and kind of pixelated house with all the cute things inside the house, but there's also some really sad things happening. So it's like cute and emotional. And I only played like a 20-minute demo, but I was already like feeling feelings. So I'm definitely intrigued to see where this goes. Like, it's not out yet, but even just based on that 20-minute demo, like it was good. It was good. It's one of those things I downloaded during one of the like Next Fests, I think. Care Bears, what is that? Something rescue, something or other. I mean, I don't know what I expected. I love Care Bears, but obviously most Care Bears things that are made, especially with this like new Care Bears and the new art style and stuff, it is targeted towards children. So this was the most like simple, basic little platformery type game I've ever tried. So like, it is targeted towards children, so it's supposed to be simple and easy. So would it be fair to put it here? But also like, I don't know. Like, it was a fun little thing to do for 15, 20 minutes, but also it was like, what am I doing? I don't know how to feel about this. Lethal Company, I only played this once. I got to play it for the first time in November. I think it must have been November, because I think that's when Ellie does Modvember, which is basically when she gets all her mods get to choose everything she's like streaming. But anyway, we played Lethal Company in November, and it was so much fun. As I said, I've only got to play it that once, but it was so chaotic and ridiculous, but I also just couldn't stop laughing. This was just a couple of hours of non-stop laughing. I could not stop laughing at everything that was happening. Allie would be getting taken off by these creatures that were flying away with her, and I would just be there cackling my ass off, like...
Oh, every goddamn time!
It was ridiculous, but it's just one of those little multiplayer games that you get the right people together, and it's just a lot of fun. Sprout Valley is something, again, I've played once. This is something that I have on my Switch, which is actually here right now, because I never put it away after I got it out the other day. But this is something I got because it was like on sale for really cheap on Switch, and it's a little kind of cozy farming type little thing that, again, I've only played that once, but it's really cute, but it also seems fairly simple from what I've played. So like, I'm definitely going to play more of it at some point when I just want to like lay there and do something chill. But it's not like groundbreaking. It's a really simple little thing where you're on an island doing farming and stuff. Age of Mythology, again, there's a lot of games here that I've played once. Because this was another thing I downloaded and played, I think because it was on Game Pass. And so this was a redo of, I believe, an older game that's basically Age of Empires, but with mythology elements. And I did play some Age of Empires years back. I had one even on my like DS, I remember. And I do like strategy type games, but again, it's nothing where I was like, this is amazing and I want to play so much more. But there also wasn't like anything wrong with it. So maybe I just put it here. I don't know. Just Dance 2025. Technically, I played multiple versions of Just Dance last year, but the way Just Dance works now is that all the recent editions are like the same game, but they're like upgrades and extra content for the same game, basically. So Just Dance 2025 is obviously the recent one, but the thing that's really cool about this is I was actually given this game by Ubisoft because I am now an Ubisoft partner. So that was really exciting to me, especially as someone who has been playing dancing games and Just Dance for many years. Like, I even went and found a photo of me playing Just Dance at a party like many years ago. And it was like, so it's just really cool. Like, that was just really cool to me. Unfortunately, I haven't really been able to make content, which I feel kind of bad about. And it's not even just because I was moving house, it's because I kept getting injured. Like, I was in a lot of pain before we moved, and then we moved house, and then I tried to move something, and I got injured again. So it's like, I was supposed to be making content for this game, because I was like part of the campaign, and that's why I got the game, but I kept getting freaking injured, which means I couldn't play it, which was really frustrating. But anyway, it was just really cool that I get to be part of that program, and I get to receive and play games in franchises that I do genuinely love. We talked about Just Dance last year because we talked about it last year, but we talked about it in the context of me playing it in 2023, because 2023 was the year I discovered Just Dance lore, which was very interesting and exciting. But I love dancing. I love dancing. I love that these games do have that little bit extra to them because they do have random lore and fun things going on. And yeah, I put Just Dance in this same spot last year. So the fact I was given this game is irrelevant. The thing that's really cool about Just Dance 2025 as well, though, is that all of the songs for 2025, what they've done is that you can use a camera. So in the previous games, because obviously way back you could use things like Connect, right? So when I used to play on like the Xbox One with the older versions of Just Dance, we'd use the Connect, which is great. You just turn on the camera, you dance, blah, blah, blah. But in recent versions, the only way you could play, unless you were playing on Switch, and obviously the Switch has the Joy-Cons, but if you were playing on consoles, I think you had to use your phone like as a controller. And that was the only way you could like play it on the consoles, which just seems ridiculous to me. But they've set it up with the new game, that all the new songs, you can use like your phone camera. So it's basically like back playing it on Connect. So I really like that feature as well. I like dancing, so, and I will do more dancing at some point. Also, now it's summer and it's hot. At some point I want to do a freaking Just Dance stream. They gave me this game. I'm excited about this game. I want to be able to play it. So at some point, that is a thing that will have to happen. The Master Chief Collection was my most played game on Xbox last year because Nathan and I were playing through some of the Halo games together. We played through the entirety of Halo 2 and we got close to finishing Halo 3, but I don't think we quite finished it. We played through all of Halo 2, we played most of Halo 3, but I don't think we quite got to the end. But when I got my like Xbox wrap up, that's why it was my most played game on Xbox, including Game Pass, which we did stream some things from Game Pass. So it was my most played through those platforms because of that. And I really love the Halo franchise. And it was a lot of fun to be able to play it with Nathan. We don't play games together very often. So it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed being able to play this, and we were doing like couch co-op. I had set it up on the Xbox. We sat on the couch with our split screen. And it was just like, I really enjoyed it. And I kind of miss that type of gaming where you're sitting on the couch next to someone doing the old split screen thing. Although the split screen can be kind of annoying, but like, you know, that close proximity gaming, which is how most multiplayer kind of used to be. Like, I kind of miss that. And so I had a lot of fun doing this. And yeah, I do just love the Halo franchise, although I do really struggle with the Flood, which is what makes me feel torn here. Because can I put something at the top if I hate the Flood that much? Even though I love the games overall. But would I sometimes skip the Flood when I had the option? Yes. So, also this technically has like 4 different games in it, the Master Chief Collection. and I played 2 of them. I don't know what you're saying yes to. You know what, for now it's gonna go up here. Also, just like nostalgically, like Halo is one of those early games I played. I played through, I think, the first 3 games in their entirety, in their campaigns, like with my dad when I used to go over there. So that was when I was like 12 to young teen, playing through those 3 games, I think. So I also have a lot of like nostalgic feelings about them. It's also one of those games where you'd go over to like a friend's house and you'd play and stuff like that. Yes, to put it up the top despite the flood, fair enough. But it was also, Halo is also kind of one of those games where I had my first experiences of, not that this is a positive, but those first experiences of like girls not being welcome in certain nerdy spaces to an extent, or people being surprised about it in some extents, because like, especially the kind of schooling I went through, like video games weren't really being talked about much because I went to a Steiner school. But then I remember being in like grade 6 and some of the boys in my class talking about Halo, and I would try and join in because I was like, oh my gosh, I love this game. I want to be able to talk about this. And they would kind of just look at me like, what? You play it? What do you mean? And I don't think they wanted me there part of their conversation. It's like, I want to talk about Halo. Or on the other hand, I would have experiences like my dad was dating someone who had 2 sons. One was older than me, one was younger than me. So I was probably like 11 at the time or something, or 11 or 12. And the older son, I think, was like 14. And he wanted to play Halo with my dad. And my dad was like, oh, you know, let Stays play. Stays, Stasi, he called me both. And this boy was like, absolutely not. Girls can't play video games. I'm not playing with her. We ended up loading up the game, you know, like 1v1 freaking Halo match eventually when he was like final pro. And then I kind of beat him by a lot and he got very, very mad. So I don't know whether that helped the case or not. I mean, I disproved that I couldn't play the game. I went to a Steiner school until grade 6. So I went to a public secondary school, but I was in Steiner until grade 6. So until I was like 12. I have a lot of good feelings about Halo. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. This is another game we haven't finished. This is another game we only streamed once, but we did stream a good number of hours of it. I love Lollipop Chainsaw. I need to finish this. This is the remake that came out last year that we played a bit of on stream. Did we play it once or twice? I don't remember. But I freaking love Lollipop Chainsaw, even though it has some elements that are a bit like, make it questionable. It does make it questionable. And then I know the thing about the remake is that they had to change a lot of the music. So I know some of the kind of vibes and appeal of the first game, like when it was originally made, were the music choices, which obviously some of that's had to be taken out. But I also just love Lollipop Chainsaw. And I can't, even though I have to try and look past some of the iffy things. I freaking love Lollipop Chainsaw. I just, like, it's just vibes. And it's just so much fun. You're just running around with a chainsaw, cutting up zombies with like rainbows and hearts flying everywhere. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This is the casting of Frank Stone, which is the like narrative story choice horror game that's based in like the Dead by Daylight world. And I have mixed feelings about it because I don't think it's a fantastic game on its own. I had fun with it. But that's for 2 main reasons. One, because I streamed the entire game, and so I always have fun when I'm streaming games and we get to hang out and experience it together. And 2, because obviously I'm a big Dead by Daylight fan, and I've played a lot of Dead by Daylight, so it was cool to play a game like this as well, to be able to pick up on all those little Easter eggs and find all the little things and references throughout the game. That was really fun. But if you hadn't played Dead by Daylight, I don't think this is a strong game on its own. And so, I don't know. As I said, I did kind of have fun overall, so I don't know how harshly I feel about it. There were performance issues as well. It did run very poorly for me. And I've played most of these types of games. Like, we've played a bunch of the Dark Picture Anthology games and stuff like that, which are the same type of game. And we also played The Quarry. And none of those ran anywhere near as badly as this did. So I don't really know why it was as bad as it was. So I think I do need to put it here. Like, I don't know why it ran as badly as it did. Like, I don't have a top tier computer, but if I can play all the other games without too many issues, I can even stream freaking Baldur's Gate with the amount of issues that has. I don't know why this was as choppy as it was, but I did have fun. Like, it's not a terrible game, and it's not a game I wouldn't recommend, but I feel like maybe it did have too many issues and it wasn't a strong enough a game to put higher than that. We have the first Borderlands game here, which I played a bit of because the movie came out. The movie was fantastic. But there was a lot of hype around the movie, particularly just because I got to go to the launch party. There was like a launch party held in Melbourne that I got to go to, which was held at Fortress. They had like free drinks, free food. It was all set up, all themed. There was people cosplaying, which also weirdly, a cosplayer I kind of knew was there as Moxie, and she looked amazing. I'm also kind of in love with Moxie, which doesn't help. But the thing that was so awkward is because it's a cosplayer that I've actually been like mutuals with on TikTok for quite a while. And she like always likes my videos, and you know, so we regularly interacted with each other's content. And I go to this event and I was like, this cosplayer looks amazing. And she was standing near, they had a little like Moxie's bar set up that also had like a claptrap. So I went to get a photo at Moxie's bar with the claptrap. And obviously she was standing there as the cosplayer who'd been like hired to be part of the event. So I got a photo with her. I walk away and like 10 minutes later, I'm looking back and I'm like, I think I actually know who that is. I think I know who that is. I got a photo with her and briefly interacted with her, didn't say anything. And now I'm looking back and realizing I think I actually know who that is. So I had to do the awkward thing of going up to her and be like, Kayla? And she's like, yes. I'm like, yeah, I'm Stasi. I didn't realize it was you before. But anyway, it was a lot of hype because that event was a lot of fun, even though it was a Wednesday night and I had work the next day and it was in the city and I do not live close to the city. But yeah, so because of that event and because I went and saw the movie, I was feeling Borderlands, so I went and played a bit of the first Borderlands on stream. And we didn't play very much of it, but I was instantly getting the vibe of like, I definitely don't love it as much as Borderlands 2, as much as I love the franchise overall. I think I also played Borderlands 2 before I played the first Borderlands. So like, I still like it. I didn't not enjoy it. But it just doesn't have the appeal of some of the other games perhaps. So I think I'm putting it here. Because I feel like if you haven't already played Borderlands, maybe you should play the first one just for the full experience, but also you could probably do without it. I don't know. As much as the movie wasn't great, and it definitely didn't feel like Borderlands, but I didn't not enjoy it. If I ignored that it had the Borderlands title, I could just enjoy it as like a not fantastic movie that was still fun. This is, what was this called? Co-written. This was a game that I was given a key for, and so I got to like play test it because I got sent a key, and it was this little thing where you can kind of like shapeshift into a creature and then back. It really, it was pretty basic from what we played, but it was a playtest. It's not like the finished game, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad experience, but it was kind of just like fine. This is, what is it called? Once Human. Another game I want to play more of. Another game that's taking up a lot of space and I'm not playing it, which is technically another like MMO type game that came out late last year. But this one does have like, well, it has like all the things because it has like building elements, shooty elements, creepy things. I really enjoyed what I played of it. I just never got around to going back to it. But like, I did really enjoy what I played of it. I just need to play more of it. Here are a bunch of games that I played demos of, basically, other than this. That's not a demo. But there are a bunch of games here that I've played demos of, mostly during like Next Fest. And a bunch of these I did stream as well. Although some of them I think are split up. Like meh. I didn't play that much of it, but I was enjoying the vibes. I'm someone who very much can enjoy things based on vibes. Like something can be not even the most, even though I haven't played enough to really comment on it. But like, there are some things where I know people really actively disliked it, but I loved the vibes. Like a game that gets a lot of criticism and that didn't seem to do very well, and I see so many like essays about how bad this game is and stuff on YouTube. Freaking We Happy Few. Not that I've like finished a playthrough of it, I've started multiple playthroughs, but I freaking love what I've played with We Happy Few, and I think it's just like weird vibes. Just the vibes. This, however, was not carrying me through on vibes. This is, again, it's just a demo, but the demo I played of this was really underwhelming. You're like Baba Yaga's apprentice, basically, and you don't get to do much in the demo, so that's also why it's like, I don't know how much I can judge it based on that. I think the game is actually out now, but the demo alone made me have no desire to ever play it, to be honest. It wasn't like horrible, it just wasn't really my vibe. So that's why this bottom tier isn't like terrible games. It's not like bottom tier games, it's just games that like I personally don't have a desire to play. Just not my vibe. Question of the day, do you have any New Year's resolutions or goals? Things that you want to do? Anything that you want to talk about for the new year? And yeah, the demo was a little underwhelming. Another demo I played, this one I played off stream, Tiny Bookshop. Basically, you just manage a little bookshop out of a cart. It's a pretty simple little game, cute little game. I would probably play more of it, but it's nothing like amazing. It's good. It's fine. This Fantastic Haven, was it called? This one, I don't think this even has a release date yet, but this is a kind of management type of game where you're also like getting like creatures and taking care of them and stuff. It kind of reminds me a little bit of some of those games that were really popular on phones, like there were the dragon ones and stuff in some ways, but it also has some of those management games you'd expect from more detailed games. So I enjoyed this demo. I would possibly play more of it, but again, like relatively basic, but fun. This was my favorite demo I played in the year. I really want to get the full game. The full game is out now. It's just a little bit more, oh my gosh. I'm not used to drinking soft drink. It's a little bit higher priced than you usually expect from these kind of smaller indie games, which is, I think, part of the reason I've been hesitant to buy it, even though I loved this demo. But you're like playing this little ghosty matchmaker, and you can like pick the characters living in this place and then try to match them up and give them little daily things to do and stuff. And it was so cute. I absolutely loved this demo, but I haven't played the full version yet. But based on the demo, I would put it up here because it was my favorite demo I played this year. This is a demo I played very recently. I was sent a key for this demo early. I don't know if the demo is still active, but it was open. I just got to play it a little bit early. But this is islands and trains where you can like create an island, put all the little trees and stuff on it. You can create train tracks and add little farms or castles, whatever you want. It's one of those types of games where there's no like real goal. You just kind of get to build and do whatever you want. It's pretty cute. Also bonus points, there are pigs. Any game that has cute pigs in any way gets bonus points from me. Again, this was just a demo. Not the type of game that I personally would play a lot of, but it's the kind of thing that I would open every now and then. But because of that, I probably wouldn't put it any higher, but this was really good for what it was. If you really love that style of game, I know I have a friend who really likes like games with trains and stuff, and when I posted on Instagram, he messaged me like, I'm your, like basically was like, I'm your target audience, thank you. And I was like, yes, if you didn't see it, I was going to directly send it to you. But yeah, this is really cute. It's really cute. You just get to build stuff, trains, add a little farm, create your island however you want. It's cute. Just a little cute whatever you want to do game. This is the freaking watermelon game. I don't play, this is one of those games that I'm not like... It's such a silly little game where you're just like matching fruit. It's such a basic little game, but it's just one of those things I open up every now and then on my Switch. Just waste some time in. I don't know whether I quite would put it top tier. I don't think I actively play enough of it. Yeah, technically it's Suika. I don't know that I'd quite put it top tier. I don't play it that much, and it's not like one of my favorite games, but it's one of those things I just open up every now and then. Especially since like I don't have that many games I actively play on my Switch, or that many games on my Switch to begin with. So Yeah, I kind of really want to get like a stream deck or something. Because the thought of like being able to just sit on the couch or in my bed and just doing whatever I want to rather than having to sit here at the computer, especially because I don't even have a freaking chair at the moment. This is an old chair which has a blanket over it because it looks pretty gross. I don't know how old this chair actually is because it was my mother's before I moved out. I moved out. How long ago did I move out? Nathan and I have been living together for 5 years. I think I lived alone for 2 years before that. So that means I've been living out of home for at least 7 or so years. And this was my mother's sometime before that. So it's a pretty old chair. It's not like a desk chair. It's a really basic chair that I'm sitting on because I got rid of my gaming chair. Because some of you may remember how much I was complaining about that gaming chair because it was like this. This is what it was like. It had slanted so far that every time I sat on it, I was just slipping off. And I gave up. I got rid of it. So currently, I don't really have a proper chair. I just have this very old chair with a blanket over it because it has like, it just looks gross. I really need to get some kind of proper chair. So I don't really love sitting at my PC for the most part. This is Little Kitty Big City. We played this on stream. I really liked this. It's very, very cute. You're just a little cat running around having chaotic adventures. I did like it a lot. It was really cute. Still Wakes the Deep, we played on stream. It is a horror game. Very creepy, cosmic horror vibes. You're out on a friggin' oil rig. There are flesh mountains. I don't know how else to explain it. I thought this was really good. I did think this was really good. Yeah, again, it's just not one of those things where I'm like, oh yeah, this is one of my favorite games of all time, but it was really good. It's just disturbing. Divinity Original Sin, I think I only opened this up once. I need to play it. This is a game I really want to play, but I haven't really played yet, so I don't even know where to put this, because I haven't really played it yet, but I technically played a little bit of it, so I don't even really have a ranking for this. Some years I've had the like barely played ranking. I don't have that, but I feel like, yeah, I haven't really played enough of it to give it anything, especially because it's one of those more detailed games where you need to play more. So that's kind of just I need to play more of this because I've played a bit of it once. Final Fantasy VII. This is a game I really need to give another chance because obviously Final Fantasy VII is like one of the most freaking renowned games. Everyone raves about this. And currently I'm sitting at having negative feelings. Because we were playing it on stream and then I kind of quit and never returned to it. And it's like, I need to give it a better chance. And I think I need to play it off stream and give it a proper chance without that like extra pressure. Because right now I'm sitting at, I can see you. Hey. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. It was that combination of, there was that really freaking awkward scene and exchange of like, where you dress up as the woman, you go in and whatever, and there's just that dude being so uncomfortable. But also, I was getting frustrated with some combat stuff. I think I just had tried to rush through it a bit. And yeah, I think I just need to give this a better chance off stream because, yeah, right, I never went back to it because I was feeling too negatively about it. So I don't want to say, like, could be better, because obviously so many people have such high praise for this game. And it's not like I don't like Final Fantasy games in general. Like, before Baldur's Gate 3... for many, many years, Final Fantasy IX is always what I would say was my favorite game of all time. So I don't know. Right now, like, it's sitting in one of these categories based on how I'm feeling, but I need to give it a chance. Like, but right now, I'm not feeling good about it, you know? What's this called? Creatures of Ava? I think we played this on stream once as well. You go around like taking photos of creatures and stuff. Pretty basic little game. It was fun what we played, just not something I'm like itching to pick up again. So like it was fine. Spirit City Lo-Fi Sessions is another thing that isn't like a proper game, but this was like, I think my 4th most played on Steam. I think on Steam. So like realistically, I feel like Fortnite was probably my most played game, but on Steam it was like Baldur's Gate 3, Dead by Daylight. Sorry, no. Baldur's Gate 3, Elder Scrolls Online, but again, I think that was particularly because of the launcher. Dead by Daylight, and then it was Spirit City. Because Spirit City is like basically a productivity app that's been gamified. Because you go in, you customize your avatar, you customize your room, and you can put on your little timer and stuff. So it's like a gamified productivity app. And I really like it. It's really cute. But it's not like a game, you know? Basically. It's not like a game. Although I have heard things about possible connections with AI, but not the game itself. It's more like, I saw suggestions that maybe some of the music they work with has had some AI visuals potentially. I don't know. I didn't really look into it, and I'm concerned because I'm very anti like generative AI, particularly in creative spaces. But what is this? Arcade something. What is this? The Arcade Spirits? Arcade Spirits. Is something I played once and didn't really vibe with. This is a game I think that has kind of visual novel, dating type elements. I only played it once and I just didn't vibe with it. I don't know that I'll play it again. So that's kind of where it sits. I love a good visual novel or a good dating sim. Something about this one just wasn't clicking with me. Speaking of dating sims, I think this one's called Sucker for Love. It's, now to be fair, some of these games I'm pretty sure I did not buy myself. They were gifted to me. They may have been on my wish list though. Don't look at me. I think this is called Sucker for Love, and it's like a Cthulhu dating sim. Like it's Lovecraftian. So there's like different scenarios you can go into, but they're all like Lovecraftian monsters. So it's like you're trapped in your room with this monster and you like want to romance them, but also they're talking about ending the world and everybody dying. I mean, it wasn't the best dating sim I've ever played. It was something. So like, it was fine. Party Animals was my 5th most played game on Steam. And I'm not even like the biggest Party Animals fan. Like, I don't dislike it and I have fun for the most part when I play it, but I wouldn't say I love Party Animals. The thing is, a number of my friends do love Party Animals. So there have been many weekends where that's what some of my close friends have been playing, and therefore I played a whole heap of Party Animals last year. As I said, it's usually a good time. I just don't know that if it was up to me that I would play 5 hours of Party Animals straight, like we did multiple times. like it's a good time, but I will say there are some very cute animals. I may have a pink bat. Stray Gods. I love Stray Gods. This is a musical game with dating elements with Greek gods. And if you don't know anything about me, all of those things appeal to me. I was a classics major. One of my special interests, probably one of my first special interests was Greek mythology. I'm also a fan of musicals. And as we know, I like a good dating sim. So you put all those things together. Also, it's Laura Bailey. So, you know. I played the main game last year, and I also played the DLC. The DLC also came out last year. It was just a lot of fun. Would play again. Dragon Age Inquisition So Dragon Age Veilguard came out at the end of last year, and because it was coming out, I was like, you know, I've actually never played the Trespasser DLC. So I played Dragon Age Inquisition last year in the context of I played Trespasser for the first time. And I just love Dragon Age. I freaking love Dragon Age. Dragon Age Inquisition particularly is one of my favorite games. Inquisition and Dragon Age 2, which I think is an unpopular opinion, but Dragon Age 2 has my favorite cast of companions that I fell in love with and are the only reason I've ever read fanfiction. So I played Trespasser for the first time. That's why I played Inquisition, because I wanted to play that before Veilguard came out. So I freaking love Dragon Age, Veilguard, and Trespasser was good. Although also more difficult than I was expecting. Like, I didn't even have it on a hard difficulty, and I feel like playing Trespasser felt a lot more difficult than, like, any of the rest of the game. Speaking of dating sims, one of my favorite franchises we know is Monster Prom. I'm still playing Monster Prom. I have the first one, like I have Monster Prom on my Switch, so that's why I still play it every now and then. If I just want to open up something on my Switch, I'll play some Monster Prom. I have no shame about this. I freaking love Monster Prom. And they're currently in the works of making a new one. If anyone wanted to know, Monster Con, I think, they're making one that's like convention themed. The art style is so cool. The humor is like ridiculous and over the top. And I just love Monster Prom. Oh, we got Overwatch 2. I didn't play very much Overwatch. As I mentioned earlier, I think I prefer Paladins to Overwatch. And it's not something I ever really want to play alone. And it's not something I have a lot of people I'm friends with regularly playing. So I don't really play it much. I think I did load it up on my own once or twice, and like I had fun, but I also didn't like, it's also not something, I don't know, that I'm regularly itching to play. I don't know. So I have like mixed feelings about Overwatch. Don't have bad feelings, but I also don't feel like it's the most amazing thing. I don't know. As I said, I like still love Paladins. Part of me just wants to freaking go and play Paladins. Well, now I want to try Marvel Rivals. I actually have to choose who I'm drawing because I may have joined a Overwatch stamp rally for Supernova because I actually have a friend who's running it. Fallout 4. Can anyone guess why I might have played Fallout 4 particularly last year? May have been a similar situation to why I played Borderlands. I did play Fallout 4 because of the TV show. The Fallout TV show came out. It was unexpectedly good. I was not expecting that TV show to be as good as it was. It was actually really good, but it also just really made me want to play Fallout, which I hadn't played in a long time. So I went and booted up and started up a new game of Fallout 4. And it's a good time. It's a good time. Again, it's one of those things of like, I don't know whether Fallout 4 is quite one of my favorite games, but I do always have a good time when I play it. I also have never actually finished a playthrough though. So there's that. That'll do. Oh, I actually didn't even remember that I did play Paladins. Speaking of, you know what? I haven't played very much of this in recent years, but considering how many hours I spent playing this alone, even though it's that type of multiplayer game, like I used to boot this up on my Xbox and just sit there for hours playing by myself. I would like, you know, have no communication on whatsoever. I wouldn't have a headset on. I wouldn't be having any chats open or anything. I would just play. I'm sure people were cursing me out. Maybe sometimes, I don't know. I just didn't interact with people. I just treated it as a single player game. Although like when I originally played it, I did start playing it because I had a group of friends that were regularly playing. I'm sorry, I'm probably going to do a shuffle because A Short Hike, I did not expect to like as much as I did. I kept being told to play it by someone in chat and was like, but it's a bird. But it's a bird. But then I think I must have got it in a Humble Bundle or something because it was in my library. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it. We'll stream it. And I actually really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with A Short Hike. I'm just gonna shuffle everything over. But yeah, I did really enjoy A Short Hike. I did have a lot of fun with it. You know, it has that little kind of heartwarming, touching little saddish moment near the end, but also I just had fun running around and doing nonsense. Like, hitting a ball and collecting hats and swimming in the ocean and avoiding all my responsibilities. And then the very last thing on here is Veilguard, which technically I didn't play very much of last year because it came out and then stuff happened and then I was moving house and stuff. So I only played it a couple of times actually last year. I've played a bit of it since I've moved. I haven't finished it yet, but I also have such mixed feelings about Veilguard. Nathan's actually played more than I have. He started playing it and within like 2 days he'd already played more than I had in the past like 2 months. The thing is, like, I don't think Veilguard's a bad game. I haven't been not enjoying it. It just doesn't feel like a Dragon Age game. So it's not necessarily what I'm looking for, because it feels very much like an action type of RPG, which isn't the style of it isn't necessarily the style I'm looking for most of the time in that type of game. And like, it's very stunted in the kind of interactions you can have with your companions. Like, you can't even just chat to them. You can't just flirt with them. You have these very restrictive moments of, you will have a very specific dialogue and you can't talk to them outside of that. So you can't have that kind of bonding you would expect from this usual style of role-playing game you expect from Dragon Age. So like, I don't think it's a bad game. I just don't think it feels like a Dragon Age game, and so I'm struggling with it personally because of that disconnect. Yeah, so I don't know, because I feel like if it wasn't Dragon Age and it was just released as some kind of fantasy action thing, like, it would be fine. But with the build-up of Dragon Age and then getting this game, it just feels so different. And sometimes games feel different because they've just like updated and evolved, but I don't know, it feels weird to be a Dragon Age game. So I don't think it's a bad game, but it doesn't feel like Dragon Age, and so I'm struggling with it. So I think I'd put it like, okay, I guess it's fine because of that. Yeah, so I'm just not feeling like picking it up, because it's fine, but I'm not like in love with it like previous Dragon Ages. Like previous Dragon Ages, I couldn't stop playing and I wanted to keep playing until I was finished. This I'm like, I'll get to it at some point, it's fine. And like, it's a thing that also is so frustrating is that some of the characters are really cool. Like, you've presented me with these really cool characters, but you won't let me just talk to them. Why can't I just talk nonsense to them? Even if it's like the same dialogue over and over again. Why can't I just talk to them? We just have to stare at each other. Anyways, I guess this is the ranking. Basically, favorites, really good games, good to fine games, not great, just not my vibe, and then games I need to give more of a chance, I guess, is where we're sitting. I guess that's where we are. I don't know how to feel right now. Most of the things at the top are not new to me games. Yeah, although Final Fantasy VII, I don't know if I'm even still going. I just don't have motivation to pick it up. I just got too angry. As I said earlier, I have Game Pass, so if anyone knows any games that are on Xbox Game Pass that I should play or stream or make content of, let me know. But yeah, there's the games I played.